Do you love old school RPGs, like the ones with turn-based combat and a lot of reading? Do you also like cats? And I mean really like cats. Well, Chronicles of Nyanya, or Nyanya Nyanya, however you say it, might be what you're looking for as it mixes furries with RPGs. Let's start off with what I liked about this fur-covered RPG. The humor is the standout thing from this game. I feel like it would have been easy for them to just flood this game with cat puns for all the instances of humor. Now, this could have worked for the first few times, and then it would have turned the humor into being repetitive and stale, since it's basically the same joke used continually. But this game doesn't do that. The game uses some of the details in the background as a means to sneak in some of the funnies, along with the characters' reactions to things, and even cat puns, and pop culture references. The first use of the background humor are with the trees in the prologue level. They are all happy when you first see them, but following the village being attacked, some of the trees are caught on fire, and their expressions change. What also helps the humor are the expressive nature of the characters when they are in their conversation. There's one instance where the main character is looking at a dessert and then has PTSD from the beginning of the game. This is all played for laughs and works very well. The character's expressive nature do add a lot to the funnies. Along with that, the main character is a likable idiot, which kind of reminds me of a cat version of the Tick or that type of character. The story itself follows a traditional hero story with a traumatic event happening in their past, and that acts as their motivation. The game uses these cliches for their humor. I know that humor is subjective, so you may not find it funny like I did, but the humorous attitude is what made a lot of this stuff quite enjoyable. Overall, I do enjoy the gameplay. It's a very turn-based combat system. I grew up with this type of combat system and I enjoy it here. I do enjoy the music with some good pieces being used for when you're exploring environments, and that I found myself humming to them. Now, while I enjoy the combat, I did find that the game got very hard very fast within the first chapter, to the point where I was struggling with battles. Usually in these types of games, I will invest some time into grinding out enemies to increase my level so that I'm better prepared for fights. This game does not offer areas to grind, so I was left with fighting enemies that ended up doing too much damage. I ended up winning by continually reloading my save and hoping the enemies would miss their attacks so that I could get through the fight. On top of that, the game has pacing issues with presenting a lot of story and funny dialogue, but then having infrequent gameplay fights and encounters. As I progressed in the game, I found these fights to be overly difficult, so I found myself enjoying the story and the humor, but then I'd get to the fights and then the game would halt because I would have to repeat that fight again and again and again because I kept losing. I want to add that I might just suck at this game, so that could have added to my frustration. But I do think the option to grind out enemies would be a nice inclusion for people who just want to enjoy the combat system and have a bunch of continual fights. By providing optional grinding, it prevents situations where I get stuck because I feel underleveled. I did experience some instances of confusion in completing objectives. I was told to talk to an individual, I found them, and then talked to them, but if I talked to them across the table, the objective didn't complete. But if I talked to the same individual behind the table, this initiated the objective to complete. How are you supposed to know that? Lastly, there are a few instances of the game instant failing you and causing the game to go to a game over screen. Some of these are even humorous, but what isn't humorous is having the game kick you out of the game back to the main menu, resulting in you losing any of your progress since your last save. This is extra frustrating because the game doesn't have an autosave feature. It also wasn't that clear when these instant fail sections were going to come into play, and overall I think these could have been implemented a lot better. Overall, I'm somewhere in the middle with this game, as I enjoy the story and the humor and charm of the game, but I don't actually enjoy playing the game when it comes to the battles and the difficulty. I haven't completed the game, so we'll have to wait and see how the rest of the experience will play out. I'd say potentially give this one a try if it's on sale. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed my video, check out some of my other ones, and I'll see you next time.